Hey there folks, Andy Nice here from Glide Cinema in Louisville, Kentucky. Today we're going to be showing you how we match footage from different cameras using DaVinci Resolve. All right, so as you can see here, we have two different cameras in frame. We have the Blackmagic Pocket Camera 4K, we have the DJI Ronin 4D over here, and then if you want to add a third, we have our A cam of the FX6. And what we're going to be going over today is how to match all of these cameras in post and make it look like they were all shot on the same camera. Now, there are limitations to this. Some cameras can be way more difficult to match up than others, but all of these cameras have pretty high color depth, so we should be able to match them no problem. So you may be wondering why we're even talking about this today. Well, there are times on projects and productions where you're going to be in multiple states, multiple locations, and you have different camera operators that are using different gear. Now, we always try to get the same across the board as much as we can, but sometimes that's just not possible in our industry. And when you're using different types of cameras, they have different color science. So this Blackmagic camera can pull different tones of red than this DJI Ronin over here. And same with the FX6, it's gonna pull different colors altogether. So what I wanna show you today is how we can blend these three cameras even on the same shoot. Now, it more than likely won't be spot on perfect, but I guarantee it we can make it to where you don't really notice it. So with that being said, let's grab a thumbnail and let's get to grading. All right, so we're here at the desk. We've brought all of the footage into DaVinci Resolve and created a multicam clip. The first thing that we're gonna do is start with our Sony FX6 footage because that was our A cam. So what I wanna do is go ahead and put a grade on it that I like, and then we are going to match the other cameras to that. So essentially, I'm just gonna run you through the process we use here at Glide to do that. Every company, every person has their own different methodology of coloring. These are just some of the tidbits that I picked up from folks that I've been following. Definitely as I'm going through this, leave comments below. Excited to hear feedback and thoughts on it. But let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so we are here and I already have a basic node tree built out. I start with this on every single clip that we grade here at Glide. And I'm on my FX6 clip here. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna bring a CST over and drop it on 6, color space transform. And I'm just gonna change, I know this was Sony S-Log footage, so I'm just gonna find proper color space and the proper gamma. It looks like we were a little bit underexposed here. I'm not gonna do a deep dive on our coloring process. I essentially just wanna get this clip to where it's usable and we can kind of go from there. So I may just speed through this in the edit here. All right, I'm to a place where I'm pretty happy here. Again, just doing something very basic, making it clean, so we can see how it looks compared to the other cameras. So essentially now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and create a still of this shot. That way we can overlay it on the other footage. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, it doesn't really matter the order of the next camera that I grade, but we're gonna go ahead in and let's just do the Ronin. Okay, and then same thing, we're gonna do a color, well, we're gonna do it a little different because the new color space from DJI is not in Blackmagic software, so we're gonna do this a little different. We're gonna throw the DJI D-Log to Rec 709 LUT in there, and we can see that's a little dark already. I'm not gonna do much grading yet. I'm just gonna bring the levels up to where I know it's similar to what the FX6 was at. Okay, so we have a decent looking image here already, but the question is, does it match the FX6? So what we do here is we go to this still, turn on our white mode, and we now have to where we have the FX6 clip overlaid on top of the Ronin clip. And it's really nice. We can go in here and match our skin tones. We can match, you know, background colors, really whatever we want. But you can see, you know, there's quite a difference in the color of my shirt, quite a difference in the color of the hat, skin tone. I mean, really, there's a lot of differences here. So I can just go in. The first thing I'm gonna look at is the contrast. The contrast looks pretty similar. I'm probably gonna bring my midtones and highlights up just a touch. So make skin tones a little closer. And then our shadows. And you can even see on the parade down at the bottom in the right, you can see my shadows are a little darker on the FX6. So I can even bring my shadows down to really match that. And we'll do the same with the highlights. Are all very similar. We may be a touch. Looks like we're a touch brighter on the Ronin. So we'll just bring this mid-tone back down a touch, right there. So I'm going a lot off this parade down here. And there's a lot of tools that you can use. I mean, typically we would use a waveform for this, but you can just see across the board a lot of similarities. Now the image is obviously, it's a different angle, so you're gonna get lighting in different places, but pretty similar there. So contrast ratios look good. Now we're gonna go up here, and we may desaturate this a little bit. So let's just do 45. That made those greens pretty similar. And then let's just cool this off. We really want those whites to match. We also want the skin tones to match. So we're getting close. Say we're a little cool on the Ronin. Shift that a bit towards the magenta side. We are getting a lot closer, and it's just a back and forth thing. I'm honestly I'm pretty close to happy with this. Again, you know, I'm not color grading for a feature film. In Hollywood, typically we're color grading commercial work or documentary work that's, you know, if we get to the level where the project is that big, we're gonna hire a professional colorist to do this stuff. But this is enough to really get you moving on some of the projects that you have. And see our lips are slightly different color there. I may actually bump this back 48. I mean, we're looking pretty close there. So right now I'm super happy with that. I may bring the overall gain up just a touch on the Ronin. I feel like the FX6 is brighter. Now I feel like we're pretty similar there. So again, a lot of it is just a back and forth. Okay, so we're probably gonna shift over to the Pocket 4K. Go ahead and turn off the image wipe, and then I will grab another still just so we have that one as well. And let's go into our clips here. Now, you know, with 2 cameras, it's not as bad to match. You got 3 cameras, that makes it a little tricky, especially since all 3 of these cameras have completely different color science. But let's get to it. So we'll do our base grade really quick. We don't need the wipe on for that. I know this was Blackmagic Design. They have a million in here. We will do Film Gen 4. Oh no, DaVinci Wide Gamut. We'll try that. And then we'll go Film Gen 5. We'll actually go Film Gen 4. Okay. And you can already see this is much brighter overall. Not much contrast going in to this image. So I'm just gonna get this to a point where I think, you know, we're getting a little closer, and then we'll pull up the FX6 and do the wipe. Add some contrast. Okay, now let's go ahead and pull up the FX6. Just click it once, click the white button. All right, we are way off here. Very clearly, clear to see there. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cool this off some to where it's even relatively close. I can tell it's got some green shift to it. So we're just gonna work with these really general sliders off the start to try to get us dialed in. I'm really matching up the shirt here. That's the easy way. Fortunately, I have a nice shirt and hat that I can go off of, a lot of whites, so you can tell. All right, so we're a little more accurate on color. So now what I want to do is I want to start bringing this the contrast level to where it's near the same, because I can tell my shadows on the Pocket 4K are not near as punched as on the FX6. So that's not too tricky. Make sure this is somewhere, keep our face similar levels, and then we'll bring this down. Okay. So we're pretty close there. Okay, I think the FX6 is a little warmer. Now I know my image overall is a little warmer because of the background having more of that tungsten light in it. But I can just tell by the skin tones that my face has a little bit of a blue shift in it. So I'm just gonna warm this up a touch. That looks pretty close. We may go back. Go 170. And I still feel like there's a touch of green. Okay, awesome. So a lot of people would probably get to this point and be satisfied. I do want a little bit more contrast in there. I can tell that there's not as much. So I'm actually gonna just go to this next node and do it the easy way, a little more contrast. That brought my face levels up. I may even go back to my curve here and make those a bit more punchy even. Okay, and I think what else I'm getting here is I'm seeing that we have a little bit more saturation from the Blackmagic camera, so maybe we just go to like a 48. Okay, we may even go to a 45. Okay, I'm feeling really good about this now. So as you wipe that image, it's really tough. You know, a professional who does this stuff every day would be able to tell the difference. But you folks who are viewing this and the average consumer is not really gonna know. I do want to bring my levels up. I feel like as I go to this image, it's a little the Blackmagic camera seems just a little more moody. So I may even just come in here, take my gamma, just punch it a bit. And I think that brought us up to where I'm really happy with the look. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go into my gallery. Okay. And we can siphon through these. And you can look there and they shouldn't feel any different. Now, one thing I am getting, so these two feel very similar. I feel like this one has a bit more sharpness. So our Ronin 4D has a bit more sharpness. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in, and I don't want to decrease, well, we could decrease the overall image because I feel like this is a bit sharper back here as well. So we're just gonna go in to another node. We're gonna take our mid-tone detail and take this back to like -10. And then we can just shift between them. I could use a bit more saturation in the Pocket 4K, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and bump it up to 48. And that gave us just a little bit more of that skin tone. But now we can see, we can even zoom in here. And now I don't really want to make this one any softer. I could bring up some sharpness in the Pocket 4K, which we'll just do opposite of what we just did in the Ronin, and just take our mid-tone detail, bump it to 10. May take this Pocket 4K and actually make it a touch warmer. It's all about just back and forth. Making sure that your levels down here in the waveform are very similar. Obviously, we have complete different lighting back here in the back, so that's gonna change the shape. But overall, this makes me very happy. And what I'll do is I will go ahead and throw each of these 3 screen grabs on the screen so you can see them side by side, just so you can see how similar they truly are. And we'll even roll some of this clip so you can switch between the clips and see how similar they ended up being from where they started. Very different cameras, very different color science, but we made it work. And I think it turned out just fine. All right, thanks for joining us on the channel today. We hope you pulled something out of this. Go ahead and drop in the comments down there if you've been in this situation, or if you have any different methods to color grading footage from different cameras. Other than that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down there. We're gonna be coming at you with a lot more content in regards to video production and business, and we will see you on the next one.